Okay, so we were discussing some number formats, as I remember, right? So I think we have discussed according to the place where we can format a value, right, as a text or a label, right? So now, as your textbook explains, by this particular image, it says displays as value. This is the way generally the values are going to display, and this is the way it's going to display uh, according to the like when we format it as per the labels, right, or like a text. So here you can recognize one other changes or like differences. Like when you are displaying as values, you won't be able to put the leading zero or the starting zero in the phone numbers or the mobile numbers. But when you are formatting it as a text or a label, so we will be able to put uh, the the value or like the number zero, and we can start our mobile number using the zero as we always states, right? So when it is a value, they just ignore the leading zeros or the the zeros which is into the most right, because it is not doing any effects to the values when it comes with the leading zeros. Right. So today we are going to move from that particular point. I hope you can remember the things we have done so far. So here it shows how the percentage, how we can arrange the things or like format the cells to have a percentage inside it, right? So uh, it's not like we type in the percentage symbol with the what you with the content that you are typing in, but we can format some range of cells to get printed the percentage sign only when we are given a number, right? So this is a general value, and here I'm going to show you formatted with percentage. Right, so yeah, so like I'm selecting the entire column. If I need from, I can do it from there. So like if I select the entire column, my entire values inside this column is going to be presented as a percentage. And if I select some of the cells, let's say from B2 to B7, I'm going to, I can directly give a percentage from formatting from this particular symbol, the percentage style, or you can just use the percentage formatting from here, right? It's like if I just give 24 for this particular place, it is just showing it as a general value, right? So right aligned. And if I'm typing 24 in this particular thing, so my percentage is already been shown. So like I didn't press any percentage mark or type any percentage mark into this. So likewise, if I give some values to this particular cells, those are not being formatted as percentage because I haven't given any formatting. But for these places, I have given the formatting types. Now, if I give something 245, still it's going to show as the percentage, right? And so likewise, the percentage mark and 2 decimal points are already is there. So if you need to get rid of this 2 decimal points, what you can do is you can select the range and you can decrease the decimals. So you can have the percentage as a whole number. So, but generally when we are giving the percentage, we are giving it with 2 decimal places, so we can have a better idea. Like it can be the percentage calculation can be done very sharply when we are having the percentage with 2 decimal places, right? So that is how we are going to change it as a percentage values, right? And the other thing that they are talking about is the scientific notation, like how it is going to be when we are representing something in scientific notation, right? So this is something little bit closer to the mathematical calculations that we do, right? So now if you consider this particular value in your book, in your textbook, they have given you and given you the what you call uh, the explanation, or like the description regarding the scientific notation. So here there are some values with how many numbers are there, like 3, 3, 9, 12 and 13. Yes, so like there are 13 numbers in here. So what they have done is, now when you are writing any number from scientific notation, you are going to have only one specific whole number in your given value, and rest of the things are going to be display as the what you call the floating values, right? එතකොට දශමතිත එන්නේ එක පූර්ණ සංඛ්‍යාවක්, one whole number, then the floating point, the point will be there, then the rest will be the floating point values. Now here what they have done is they have rounded the rest of the things. After the 8 they are going to put a decimal point, then the rest is rounded to 2 decimal places. Then here e plus 12 is representing how much that the floating point number has traveled. Then if I tell it generally, right, if you say to write the scientific notation for this particular value, you are going to say the value is going to be 2.345, right, into 10 to the power 3. This is how we are going to represent that, right? But when the Excel is going to represent it, it's going to represent like this. Let me take this and I'm going to format this to be shown as a scientific value, right? So I'm going to type the very same value, 2345, and press enter, right? So what it shows is it has rounded the number for 2 decimal places. So 2345 is taken as 2.345 like in here, and has rounded. So when it is rounded for 2 decimal places, it's going to be 2.35. And previously in the normal value, the decimal point is here, right? So when the decimal point is traveling in between 2 and 3, it has traveled 3 decimal places. So that is why e plus 03 is there. When the decimal place is moving to your left, you are going to have e plus values. When it is moving to your right, you are going to have e minus values, right? So if we say like 0.0456, right? So if we are going to show this in scientific notation, we are going to say 4.56 into 10 to the power minus 2. It is because the decimal place has moved towards right side, so it is generating the minus values of the 10 to the power things. So if we change this into a scientific notation or the scientific formatting, and if I give 0.0456, see it happens like 0.56, right? And E is as minus 0.2, right? So that means it is because of this. Here you have positive values and here you have negative values. So E represent the 10 to the power and minus 0.2 represent how many decimal places that the decimal point has traveled, right? So that is how.
That's
Yes,
relevant
Nina.
to which sign notation for the 0.0456.
Didn't get you,
The
Minu.
the answer in the C9,
Yeah.
it's relevant to A9, right?
Yeah. So like the very same value I have typed inside here. So it is been formatted as a scientific value, you know.
So they don't
Like,
give the origin, like if you want to put 10 to the power minus 2, they won't give 4.56, just only
no,
4.5.
no. So then it won't be a scientific notation because in scientific notation you should have
Yeah,
10 to
no,
the.
I thought it was like a norm, like you use the scientific notation to make the normal. Okay.
No, make the normal way means.
Like 0.0456 into 10 to the power, that thing, like I thought you were going to turn in that into something.
Okay. Yeah. So, but this is the way of displaying it, you know. Like otherwise, there will be no clue how many like places that the decimal point has been traveled.
So E represent 10, right?
Yes, E represent 10 to the powers. Yes.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So that is the way the scientific notation is shown. So apart from that, we are having the yeah, what is the next part is the formatting a cell range as scientific. So it won't give anything different. Let me see what they are talking about. Is in a computer. Okay. No, this is, I think, the subtopic is changed. I think formatting of a cell range as scientific. Let me see. I think they try to talk about the date and time, but the subheadings went wrong. Formatting of cell range as scientific. Uh, yeah, so like the very same topic has been listed down here. So here what they are talking about is the different types of date that you can use, right? So now be aware this when you are using the date by default, they are talking about the month first, then the day and the year, right? So it's MDY format, right? Month, date, year format. So if you need to change it to the other way around, you have to specifically say it, or like you should create a customized a formatting type to display it like that, right? So let me illustrate it for you. So like here I'm going to use some date values, right? So I'm going to format these 4 cells as dates. So there are two types which is shown in here, short date and long date. So I'm going to take short date, right? So if I say just a one number and press enter, so it is taking the default value. So like I have given 8 for this particular cell like this, and I'm pressing enter. So it has taken the value of the day of 1900s, right? So එක්දස් නමසීය තිබ්බ date එකක් විදිහට තමයි ආයක format කරගන්නේ. So if you need to define the day and the month, what you can do is you can just say 8-2, right? So what I need to indicate, it's the 8th of February, right? So let's see how it is been taken. Once I press enter, so it is taken not the 8th of February. Here they have taken this as the month. I'll show you the difference. If I say something like 24-2, it's not for getting formatted. But if I say 2-24, it's going to get formatted, right? So know the difference, because when we are giving something separating by a dash. So they take, when it is formatted in as a date, they take the first value like before the dash as the date, and the next value, sorry my dear, before the dash they take the month value, after the dash they take the day value, right? So when I'm giving 24-2, they don't have a month called 24, right? Because the months will be like from 1 to 12, right? So 24, since there is no month number as 24, they are not formatting it. But here what I have done is I have given it the other way around. So it's like 2-24. So like this means February 24th, right? So once I press enter, so it is being formatted. So 2 is taken as the month value, 24 is taken as the date value, and once I given the day and the month combination, they are going to take the current uh, year as the year of the date, right? So if I give like what, 15-6, this is again is not going to get formatted, but I given it on the other way around, 6-15, that means June 15th. So it's going to get format. The month will be at the very front, then the date, then the year, right? Did you get that? Can I have a feedback whether you are having, whether you are getting what I'm said? Right, okay. Right, great. So what you can do, be aware when you are giving this on the in the way according to your default uh, date type, right? So the day is, the month is first, then the date, then the year. So like if I change this date as like this, so if I say 3/15, so March 15, let's say 1999, right? So once I press enter, so it's automatically changes 3/15/1999, right? So like a date is given, and let's try it with a month and a date, right? So I'm going to give 3-1994. So what I'm trying to say is March of 1994. When I press enter, so it is arranged as March 1994. The day is automatically picked as the first date of March 1994, right? So there are many different ways of this is getting changed. So get to know about the things that I have told you, right? So if you change a date so into a long date, what we have experience so far is the short date, right? So here it is the short date. So here we are going to put the long date. So I'm selecting these 4 cells and changing this as long date. Let's see what is happening. So like I'm giving 3/15 here and press enter. See what happens. So it takes Sunday, March 15, 2020. So that means not only the numbers that they use, they are going to use the day, the name of the day and name of the month and the date, right? So like Sunday, March 15, 2020, right? So if you give something like 4/17/1994, so it says Sunday, April 17, 1994. It automatically picks the date, the name of the day. So that is what you call the long date and the short date. So get to know. And here in your textbook, they have given the values for the month and for the short date and the long date. And there are several different format as well. So like how we are going to like choose those date types. So here it is given a limited number of choices here. So just long date and a short date. So if you need a different date format, it's better you go for more number formats, right? So in more number formats, regarding the date, you are having various type of way of writing the date. So like these are the two things we are searching, or like we are using for the moment, right? These two things, and we can change it like this, in the way that the year comes first, month next, and the day next. Only the month and day, and month, day, year in 2 digits, and you can have preceding 0 to make it much attractive, or like much nicer, and just the day and the month, and day, month in word by 3 letters, then the year, right? So likewise, you can do many different formattings, right? And in all the formattings, what you can see is they have taken the month into the front, then the date, then the year, when it comes to the 3-component date. But when they are like talking about 2 components, they have gone 2 different ways, right? It's like you can have the date and the month, or you can have month and the date. And if you really want to change the date format to have the day at the first, month next, and the year at the last, starting from left side, so you can go for custom formattings, right? So in custom formattings, it is right below on this stack, on this list. So like if you say custom, so they are giving you something custom in here. But remember, to edit with these things, you better have a sound knowledge about the formattings which we can use inside the Excel, right? So for the moment, I'm going to show you, this is a little bit complex stuff, but I'm going to show you how the things are going to be done, right? So there are many number formats for many different styles. So here, these are the things which keeps the formatting about the date. So it's MDYYY is month and date, and 4 digits for the year, right? And DMMMYY, so that is MMM means month in words, right? So like 15 June 95, something like that. So what I am going to make is, what I need is, I'm going to type it over here, right? So I need the DD first, and slash MM next, and YYY at last, right? So I am pressing OK. Right, let's see, by giving the same value. So like 3/1/1994. So like I'm going to give 3-1-1994. Let's see how it's going to get changed. See, so there you got 01 at the top, 03 as the month, 1994 as the year. So what they have recognized is, they haven't changed the way we are referring the data, but they have changed the way of displaying the data, right? Because අපි මෙතන දුන්නේ, we gave it 3-1-1994. So making indicate වෙන්නේ මාර්තු 1 වෙනිදා 1994 කියන එක. But once you press enter, it got changed in the way we want. පළවෙනිදා කියන එක ඉස්සරහට ඇවිල්ලා මාර්තු කියන එක පස්සට එනවා. නමුත් අපි දුන්නේ ඇත්තටම 3-1-1994. අපි මෙතන අනිත් පැත්තට දුන්නොත්, අපිට අවශ්‍ය විදිහටම අපි මෙතන දුන්නොත් 1-3-1994, you are not going to have the very same output. See, it says 3rd of January 1994, right? So remember, entering data format is always going to be month at the very first, day at the next, and the year as the last. But through an application or through a customization, we can change the appearance of that date, but it doesn't change the way we are going to input things.
Sir, did you enter 1/3/1994?
Yeah, so 1/3/1994, Microsoft is recognizing it is the 1 is the month, 3 is the day, 1994 is the year. So
Yeah.
what we have said to them is, whenever we are entering, you take the day to the front, then the month, then the year. Right? So ඒගොල්ලෝ එක swap කරගන්න එක විතරයි කරන්නේ. They are not changing their format. Got it, Minul? So like I am giving 0, 1, I'm giving 1/3/1994. So I should aware that I am typing, that I'm saying the Microsoft and indicating this as January 3rd, 1994. January 3rd, 1994 කියන එක මම enter කරන්නේ ඔහොම. Then they will change it to the way like this, where the days come to the front, month is second, and the year is third. Did you got that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Minod? Right, okay. So we are not changing the way of entering the data. We are just changing the way of appearing the data, or like the data appearance. The illustration is a thing that we are going to change. Right? Okay, people, just confirm me whether you are okay with it, or did you got the things that I have told to you? Right. Thank you, Saran. How about others? If you got any questions, you can ask. Right. Okay. Right. All right. Thank you, people. So let's move forward. So moving forward, right, they are talking about the time as the next figure, right? So after the time, let's see what is there. The currency, we'll do the both. Cell alignments, you know. Yeah, and field handle, you know it already, right? Okay. So the time format, so I'm going to get rid of these things. It is a little bit busy. So I'm going to take this as time format. So let's see how the time can be formatted now. Once I choose from here, the time formatting is just here. So if I say 5, so it's not going to show me what's the 5 is. So it shows you like 12 a.m. right? So if I give 5:10, still you are going to have the very same value, right? So that means dash is not indicated by the time format. Let's say we are going to type something like 12:30, right? Now what they have gone, like they have taken 12, but no 30 is there, right? So let's try with 3 digits, right? So I'm going to say 4, 30, and 40. Hold on. Yeah, when we are giving it with the colon, it's going to take the value that we are saying to them. So if I say 1:30, so it's 1:30 a.m. And if I need to have a PM value, I'm going to give the 24 value, right? So it says 1:45 p.m. And if you need the milliseconds, right? So it shows you the If you need not the milliseconds, if you need it from the seconds, we have to give it like 2 423, let's say 44, right? So it's going to be like that, 223 44 seconds, right? So remember, when you are giving the time, you have to give it using the colon with the 24-hour clock scenario, right? So like ඔයගලන්ට හවස 3:00 පෙන්න ගන්න අවශ්‍ය නම් you have to give 15:30, right? Then it will show you 3:30 p.m., right? So it is a way of changing the time into its format. And again, you can have many different time formats when you move to the format cell, that particular window, and here it shows
But
you
usually they don't put colons for the last seconds, right?
last seconds means Minul?
Like 3:30, then a colon should be a full stop, right?
Yeah, like you mean that in when we are entering things, generally we are not putting a colon for the last seconds.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can format it in the way that you are going to show it. Like අපි මෙතනින් මෙයාව තේරුවොත් තේරලා okay කරොත්, you are not going to have that that particular seconds thing. Yeah, Omar, I think I have given the answer. So if you need to get rid of the seconds, you can find a different format using this what here from more number formats, or you can just click on this dialog box launcher, right? So it will give you the very same window. And right, so if you need the AM PM thing, then you can choose it like this. So 1:30 p.m. so when you press OK, so it will show 3:30 p.m. And if you are going to give 2:30, it's going to be 2:30 a.m. If you are going to give 14:30, it's going to be 2:30 p.m. Right? So in that manner, you can change the way that the time is going to appear on your cells. So if you go through the time formattings, you will be seeing like there are many different time formattings. Even you can give a time format with the date as well, right? If you want, right? Even in date, there are many different formats where you can indicate the time as well, like here, right? So check those things out, right? We are not going to go through each and everything, right? So you can give the time value accordingly. So be sure to use colon when you are giving the time format, right? Okay, so moving forward, they are talking about the currency. I think we have talked about the currency in the previous session, as I remember, but I'll make the things memorize again. So regarding the currency, it's like we can format the particular cell or cell range using this currency symbol, right? And if you want, you can no, hold on, this is regarding the accounting type, right? So the currency, you are going to use it like this. So like if I type something here like 24, it's going to already formatted as $24. And if you change your accounting format, this will also affects the currency format as well. So you can change what is the currency type that you can use, right? And again, there is a difference between currency and accounting format. Like you can see the symbol is moving right to the left side when you are like formatting this as account type, right? So now the type is accounting, so your currency symbol is at the left and the figure is at the right. But if you choose this as currency, you are going to see the currency symbol with the figure. And if you need to change the currency symbol, still you can use that dialog box launcher, and in the currency symbol you can change the currency you want, right? අපි එක සැරයක් මේක රුපියල් වලට මාරු කරා මට මතක විදිහට we'll see the rupiah symbol is there, LKR is there. Yeah, it is here. So once I press rupiah, so it's going to stay with like that.
You did some examples last week, right? For
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
I think I remember
last.
I have shown you these things, right? So you can change the symbols on that manner. So thereafter, when you are given, so now why this is taking dollars, because I only did the format or the symbol changing only for this particular cell. So like if you need to yeah, now this is also something very important. If you need to copy the same format into the other cells, you can use this format painter tool right over here, like a brush. So you select the cell, you can click or double click on the format painter. Once you click, if you give a single click, you can apply it only once, right? And if you give a double click, you can apply many times. So like if I double click here, so I can click on this point, I can click on this point. Also I can apply a range, so you can copy the formats, right? So if you want to cancel the format painting, just go there and click it again, so the format painting is cut down, right? So I think that's the last formatting function regarding the formatting the cell part. So people, is it clear? Is there anything that you need that I need you to recap again? Or is it clear for you all? Right, good.
Your battery is going to die.
Yes, very soon. I'm having my charger right here with me. Right, once it goes for 10%, we can charge it. Right, okay. So then what we are going to talk about is formatting the no, not the formatting, like yeah, here in the formatting is regarding the alignment. So I'm not going to go through this because we have done so many alignments in the word processing software. So like the formattings are like left, center and right. So it is right over here in your Excel. So if you set the left formatting, it will be moved to the left without doing any changes to your formats of the data. If you need it at the middle, you can have it like this, and you can move it to the right if you want. And as well as the vertical alignment is also there, right? If the cell is big, you can place on which position, either the top or the middle or the bottom, that your figure is going to be, right? So likewise, using the uh, horizontal alignment and the vertical alignment, you can change the way your data is going to appear inside a cell, right? So then after, we are going to talk about this fill handle thing, all right? Yeah, so before we move into that, we won't be able to go through this activity because it's saying us to do some things. Yeah, I need you to do this at home and send me the outputs, right? So please mark it, right? Do it from a computer and take a screenshot or photo and just send it to me. So like they're asking you to do some modifications and apply some equations as well. So go through the things and send me the output with the answers, right? So activity which is on page number 270, you can you should send those things to the group. Don't send things me as individually, right? So I can count who other people has done and who haven't done when you're sending it to group, right? Okay, so people, I'm going to move to the other area which is a very important area where these things are these areas are very much tested in your examination: the relative and the absolute cell reference, a thing that you have to understand very clearly, right? Okay, so I'm going to clear the formattings right just here, so I can do the clear formatting to the entire sheet. I can select the entire sheet by pressing this triangular button right over here. So my entire page is selected, so I can clear the formats from the data which is being inserted here, right? So like clear all, clear formats, and you can do a lot of things. I'm using clear all. So my formattings and the data, the entire thing will get clear, right? So I'm adjusting the cell ranges or like the cell widths. Yeah. So now what I need you to do is, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell you what the difference between relative cell reference and the absolute cell reference, right? So the for that I'm going to take an example like this, right? No, let's not make things complicated. Let's just go with simple values. I'm going to take 10, 20, 30, and 40, and 50, and 60. Right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write a formula using the cell references. So I think you remember now how to write it. So if I need to take the sum of 10 and 20, which is in the A1 and B1, I'm going to say equals A1 plus B1, right? So it's going to give me 30. And if I need to take the addition of these two cells, I'm going to write the very same formula, like only the cell references are going to change. So instead of writing it separately, what I can do is I can select this cell where it already consists a formula or an equation, and I can use this fill handle, which is the green color box at the right bottom corner, right? So once you move your mouse pointer to the fill handle, it's going to change it like a black cross. So when you're doing it, when you're having the mouse pointer on that manner, you just click it and drag once, right? So you can drag any place you want. So for the moment, I'm going to drag it for the next cell and releasing the mouse button. So I'm automatically taking the addition of the A1 and B1, and if you can see, I'll show it using the magnifier. So like so this particular cell is containing the formula is called A2 plus B2, which we haven't written, right? So like what we have written is this equal A1 plus B1. So what has happened? We have copied this particular formula into the very next cell. So into the very next cell means we are going downwards in a single column. The column has not been changed, but the row value has been changed. First the formula was on row 1, then the formula was on row 2. So like what is the amount? Okay, hold on, I have to fix this too. Yes, where is this? I see. Just give me a second, people. I'm going to connect this to the power. Right. So what I have done is, so I have copied this particular formula, which is equal A1 plus B1 into the very bottom cell, which is the adjacent one. So I was in the very same column, which is the column C. So my column did not get changed, but my row was getting changed. The first one was in the row 1, and the second one is on the row 2. So it was changed by one row. So what has happened is, for a cell address, the letter is indicating the columns and the number is indicating the rows. So since the column is not being changed, you can see in both the formulas. Let me have this in the formula view manner so you can see the formulas. Right, so what has happened, when I'm copying this particular formula to this place, letter has not been changed. A is A, B is B, but 1 become 2 and this one is also become 2, right? So what happened if I copy this to the below cell? I'm not going to copy that one. I'm going to take a copy from this one. Control C, so I have copied and I'm going to paste it from here, Control V. So see how it happens. So this particular formula is copied like after one cell, like two cells have been drawn down, right? Cell දෙකක් පහළට ඇදගෙන ගිහිල්ලා තමයි copy කරේ. So what has happened, it is in the same column, so no changes of the letters, but one becomes 3 and this one also becomes 3. Now, this is a one point that you need to take in reference, or like what you call the relative reference. When you're talking about the relative reference, we are going to talk about this particular concept. You are copying a thing from a particular place to another particular cell. It's not going to change, it's going to change its value accordingly, right? Copy කරන විදිහට අදාළව වෙනස් කරගන්නවා. So if you are copying it along a column, your column names are not going to change because your column is not being changed, but the row values is going to change because when you are going towards up or down along a column, it's not the column name that is going to change, it's the row number that is going to change. So accordingly, if the row is decreasing, your value is going to decrease in the same way. If the columns are being increased, that means the column number is increasing, your formulas, cell references, row reference is going to get increased. Number increase now, right? Okay, did you got that? Yeah, I think someone asked me a question. Hold on, I have to get rid of this. Yeah, maximizing thing. Yes, let's see what's the question. Yeah, Saran, what you are asking is, yeah, how to copy and paste only a part of a spreadsheet to another. Yeah, like only a part of means, Saran? Saran, what do you mean by only a part? That means like apart from the content. Is that what you mean? All right, okay. So like, first of all, you have to access the content, right? Otherwise, you won't be able to like if you just select the cell, it's going to copy the entire thing. So you have to double click on the cell. So the cursor will appear. Then you can select the place you want, the part you want. then you can right click and copy, or you can press the Control C and copy the things, right? Then you can paste it to the way. But when you are dealing with the formulas, be careful. It's going to change, because once it is open, it sees as the reference, right? So let me close the show formula thing. Copy and paste of cells. Seren, what you are asking is, දැන් ඔයාලට මේ 30 70 110 තියෙනකොට මේ C එකෙන් 3 ඊළඟට C2 එකෙන් 7 C3 එකෙන් 11 එහෙම ගොඩක් අවශ්‍ය කෑලි ටික විතරක් copy කරලා paste කරන්නද? Is that what you are asking? Okay, so then there won't be any what facility to do that. Like we can't like press the control and just take the things. I don't think when you are pressing the control button, it selects the entire thing. You can't take several different parts from several different cells. It's not possible, as I know, right? I'll search whether there are any way of doing that. But according to my knowledge so far, it's not possible. Is it clear, Seren? Right. So now, people, just confirm me. Is it okay with you about the that this particular formula is being copied along the column? Column එකක් දිගේ copy කරනකොට which they clear the. Right. Right. Okay. If you got any problem, just disturb me and ask. Right. Okay. So now I'm going to show you what happens when we are like copy and pasting the thing along the what you call the along the row, right? So to do that, I'm going to make these things a little bit thinner, right? So I'm going to copy this particular formula, so Control C, and I'm going to copy it to the very right cell, so the row is not being changed. So I'm copying it, Control V. What has happened? The number, the row number is not changed. A1 is having like B1, but A has changed into B because you have copied along the row. So when you are copy along the row, it's the cell address or the cell, what you call the column value or the column header, which is going to change. C is going to become D, D is going to become E. So likewise, your column headers are changed when you are moving along the row, but not the row number. So when you are pasting along the row, what is going to happen? Your column value is going to change accordingly. Like your column addresses are increasing. That means if it is goes in the way of A, B, C, D type, so your values are going to get increased, right? If you are coming towards right side along the column or along the row, your values are going to get decreased. The row values are going to get decreased. If you have D, when you paste it to the right side, it's going to be C, and you paste it to the right side again, it's going to be B, right? So likewise, if you are copying it to the right side, your column values are decreasing accordingly. If you are copying it to the if you're copying it to the left side, your column addresses are going to get decreased. If you're copying it to the right side, your column addresses are going to get increased. So if I take the very same value, right, from the C1, and I'm going to copy it to the this particular F1 cell, right? So how many cells are being passed? 1, 2, and 3. So this particular A is going to become B here, and going to become C here, and going to become D right over here. So it's going to be equals, A1 is going to become D1, B is going to become what? B, in here it is C, in here it is D, and the very last one it's going to be E. So it's going to be D1 plus E1, right? Let's say whether it's going to happen. I'm going to paste it right here. So see, it indicates equals D1 plus E1. So A1 becomes D1 and B1 becomes E1. Why? We have passed 3 separate cells to reach this particular point or like this particular cell along a row. Row එකක් දිගට තමයි යෝග හැදුනේ. Right? So to sum up the things what we have talked so far, if you are copying uh, inside a column to the downwards, your row value is going to increase accordingly. If you are copying a formula along the column to the upwards, your row value is going to decrease accordingly. And if you are copying towards right side along the row, your column headers are going to increase accordingly. And the very same way, if you are copying a thing or like you're copying a function or a formula along the row to your left side, your cell addresses or like your column headers are going to decrease, right? Minul, I think this is not for me, right? Yes, why thing? Yeah. Minul, please don't do the other things or like go for other chats when we are doing the things, right? You won't get things clearly. Right. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, so far what we have done is we have copied the things along the column, we have copied the things along the row. Now what we are going to do is we are going to change both the levels, like we are changing the rows as well as the columns, right? So I'm going to take a copy of this C1 formula and I'm going to write it over here, copy it or paste it over here. So now when I'm traveling my cell to this particular place, what is going to happen? So it has passed 2 columns to come to this place as well as 2 rows to come this particular cell. So like if it is passing 2 cells, that means this A1 is going to be here, this A is going to change as B and here as C, and this B is going to change as D in here as E. So your letters inside your formula is going to be as C and D, right? So your letter is going to be changed like how? This one is going to become 2 when it comes down and it's going to become 3 once it is here. So this particular cell is going to have a formula like D3 plus, sorry, C3 plus D3, right? Let's see what is happening. Yeah, so this equals C3 plus D3 is there. So A has become BC when it comes here. B has become CD when it's coming here. And 1 is become 2, 3 when it's coming here. And this one is also become 2, 3 when it's coming here. Right, so that is how the cell, the relative reference is going to change according to the relation or according to the reference, right? So it is relative. ඉන්න තැනින් පහළට එනකොට උඩ ඉන්න කෙනාට සාපේක්ෂව තමයි change වෙන්නේ. Right, I think I got a question. You see? All right, okay. All right, so people, is it clear so far? So that's all about relative reference. We are going to do some practicals now, right? Which I'm going to interact with you. So let me see whether it is clear or not. Right, okay, Saran, thank you very much. How about others? Okay. All right. Okay. Right, people. Yeah, I'm going to write some formula right over here. Let's see how it's going to change, right? Now I'm going to write equals B1 plus C, oh no, not C, B1 plus A2. Yeah, B1 plus A2 right over here. So that is my formula. And I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this to this particular cell from here to here. Okay, send me the answer. What's it's going to be? Minul, that means a cell can displace an equation in another cell as a cell address. I didn't get what you are saying, Minul. What do
That
you
means,
mean by,
that
yeah,
means B1 plus A2 equals C5, no?
B1 plus A2 equals C5. No, 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 no. You are not going to say it like that. Don't have that idea, Minu. Because C5 is the content. You can't say C5 equals B1 plus A2. Right?
No, I mean like, yeah, no, I mean like if you want to take that to another cell now, you need E5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you
Still,
write
then you
like
can use equal
C5 and
C5. Yes, yes, yes. Mathematically, what you are saying is correct, but when it comes to the Excel, don't express it like that. So like you can't say C5 is equal to B1 plus A2. Right?
so what's
Yes.
like the point of this, like
Point of this
the
means?
use of this?
Okay. I'll show you. I'll show you. There are very practical using of these things. Right? I'll show you the places. Right? Even if you go through your past papers, you can see what are the practical ways of doing that. And I'll show you some practical examples as well. Yes, Binadi, your answer is correct. When you are copying it to the E5, it's going to be D1 plus C2. Yeah, Saran, your one is also correct. Right, and Dulagi, your one is also correct. And Onetra and Ovin, I think you have to change it. Like you have given the answer, but I'm not expecting the answer. I'm expecting the formula. Right. Okay. So let's copy it now. Let's paste it down. Let's see what's going to be there. So here we are pasting. Yeah, D1 plus C2. Okay. So then I'm going to copy this particular formula into this particular place, which is the E8. What it would be, what it's going to be. This cell, the formula is in E5. I'm going to copy it to E8. What it's going to be. Saran, yes, D4 plus C5, which is correct. Yes, great. Others, did you guys figure that out?
I didn't quite get that.
Which one? Which one,
The first one, the E5.
The E5 thing.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, people, the Dulagi, your answer is also correct. Okay, Minul, this is the formula I was written, right? I wrote, and you are going to copy this into this particular cell, which we call the E5, right? And how far it's been traveled. So B1, so this is a very same row. So when you're copying things along the row, yes, Seran, sorry, I was just pronouncing it in a phonetic way, right? So it's Seran, right? Okay, I'll keep that in mind, Seran. Right. So Minul, so like B1 is going to travel from this cell to this cell, right? So since we are copying it along the row, so the number is not going to change. So it's going to change the letter because we are changing the columns. So we are moving from here to here to here, right? So B will become C in this particular place and it will become D on this particular place. That's how the B has become D. 1 is not going to change because we are on the very same row. And A is going to change, B in here and C in here. So that's why A has become C when it is traveling to this particular
And
place.
for the column, the number of row, like columns change. Like if you go down
Yes, so
from
like
here.
what you have to remember is when you are copying along the row, letter is not, the number is not going to change because rows are having numbers. So your row is not changing, that means number is not going to change. But when you're copying along the row, means your columns are going to get changed. So your letter is going to get changed. Did you got that?
Yes, sir.
Right, good. So like, yes, Binadi, your answer is also correct. When we are copying this into the E8, it's going to be D4 plus C5. Good. So let's copy it and see. Yeah, so it is D4 plus C5. Right, good.
So but I cannot just like I know the way to do, but I just cannot find the use of it when you look
I'll,
at it.
I'll show you. I'll show you, Minul. You have to be patient, right? Okay. Then people, I'm going to copy this particular cell, this particular formula to this particular cell, which is the D6. Tell me what the answer is. My cursor is the place where we're going to, yeah, so Minul, you says C2 plus B3. Yes, C2 plus B3, which is correct. Yes, Saran, your one is also correct. Right. Yes, Dulagi, you got the correct answer. Great. Onetra, yes, your one is also correct. Yeah, how about the Ovin and Sandil? Okay. Yes, Binati. Binati, I was asking to copy and paste, or not copy and paste, just tell me the equation uh, of when I'm copying this particular equation, which is in the green dotted lines, into the D6. Right, D6 එකට copy කරාම කීයද කියලා. Yes, Avin, your answer is correct. Avin, remember to put the equal sign in front, right? Don't just try to write it without the equal sign, right? Your like exam requires that, right? Okay. So, right, okay, right, okay. Yes, Binadi, that's correct. Hold on, Binadi, it's not C3 plus B4, my dear. I'm going to copy this to the D6. So you are traveling 2 cells upward and 1 cells to your left. Right? So 2 cells upward. Yes, Binari, that's correct. You got it correctly. Right, good. So people, you are having the idea of how the relative reference is working. So Minol, the answer for your question, how we are going to use this in the practical world, right? This is the way we are going to use those things. Like when we are preparing a simple bill, right? We may need these things to be happened, right? Like just say you are having an item like, let's say fruits, apples, oranges, and so, right? What else? Let's say papayas, right? So there will be quantities and there will be totals, right? So let's say you are going to put quantities in this manner. So if you need to create the total, uh, first of all, you should have the price. Let's say price is in a unit price. Price is here, so the totals will be here. Right? Say, let's say your unit price or something like this. Right? So how we are going to calculate the total? So you are going to write the formula like equal B2 into C2, where you are going to have 180. And you are not going to write each and every formula to this particular place. You are going to copy it. So it will copy relatively, right? So this will multiply these two things, and this particular formula is multiply these two places, right? So if you take a supermarket, in the apps that they are using, if they are using an Excel sheet, this is the way they are going to calculate things, but they may have systems, but there are places who is doing the accounting parts as well, where they need those things. Yeah. Seren, did I got? Yeah. It's not ZD. It's a CE. Yes. Thanks for the help. Right. So there will be many practical ways, and I'll show you one big practical place for you, Minul. This is something I am doing for my brother. Right. Hold on. And this is done by the Google Sheets, which is very similar to the Excel. So this is a payroll, or like the pay sheet that they are maintaining. It's totally based on the Excel. So see, these are the formulas that they are having. See, so when you are having a many number of employees, you are going to just copy the formulas downwards. You're not going to write each and every formula. So you can see the formulas on the formula bar, right? In some cells, they are containing some serious formulas, right? Yeah, this is online. Yes, sheets are online. Yes, I can share, and I can do many different things. So that is the practical
So this
usage
is the
of these
old
things.
sheet, right?
Didn't get that.
This is the old sheet.
Old sheet
2000,
means?
2018 April.
No. This doesn't have the what you mean. Did you ask about the version of the sheets?
No, like this is a like old entry or something.
Didn't get you, Mino. Old
This is
what?
the old entry.
Yeah. This is an old entry. Yes. These things are some old entries, or maybe some tested entries, right? So those are the practical ways that we are going to use those things. Many accountants have use that in many different ways, right? So those are the practical ways of using the things and copying cell references in the relative manner. So like relative reference is very needed when you are doing something or having the things repeatedly largely on your Excel worksheet. ගොඩක් තැන්වල එකම දේ පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනොත් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔයා relative reference පාවිච්චි කරනවා. Right. Okay, people, just confirm me, is it clear so far? So like that's what you have to do regarding the relative reference. Then you are going to move to the absolute reference.
Right.
Right. Great. Sorry, I didn't hear it clearly.
At which time is class finishing?
We are going to finish it today for 5:15 because I have started like 3:45.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'm moving to the absolute cell reference. Now, absolute cell reference is something different from this. So like relative means when we are copying it, the formula is going to change relatively. එයාට සාපේක්ෂ විදිහට වෙනස් වෙනවා. Copy වෙන තැනට අදාළ විදිහට වෙනස් වෙනවා. So like absolute cell reference means the opposite of relative cell reference. That we are trying to not to change our cell references when we are copying our formulas, right? So let me illustrate it to you. Now, yeah, let's think. These are some numbers, right? Let me take a practical example, right? So let's say right, I'm going to give some unit prices to this particular place. Yeah, so I'm going to have quantity just over here, right? Right, so so what I need is I need to calculate the total. Like I'm going to have the unit price is going to multiply by the same quantity value. That means you are going to have 600 here, right, and 450 here by multiplying 45 into 10, and you are going to have 700 here by multiplying 70 into 10, and you are going to have 200 here by multiplying 20 into 10. Now, I'm not asking you to copy this down. So if you copy it down, you can write a formula and copy it downwards, and you can have the relative reference. But I need you to do it on this manner. Right? So you are set to calculate the total by using this quantity value according to this unit price. So what you are going to write is something like this. You are going to say equals A1, not A1, actually A2 into B2, right? So I better get rid of show formula thing, right? So it's having the 600. I think I got a question or something. Yeah. That's right. Yes, Seran and Ovin, yes, you guys are having the idea. So let me illustrate, right? In the total, it's going to have 600 as we talked. So like in the second cell, you are going to say equals, what you need to multiply 45 by 10. So 45 is A3. multiplied by B1, not B1, B2, right? So this one is going to be equals A4 multiplied by B2 again. And this is going to be equals A5 multiplied by B2, right? So now you are going to have the answers. But if you take a look at the formulas that we have written, it's like first one has A2 equal into B2, second one's A3 into B2, third one A4 into B2, and fifth one A5 into B2. So that means some are changing relatively. As I move in my cell from top to bottom, you can see the blue color cell is changing accordingly, but B2 is not being changed. So we can write this type of formula for, like, if we are having like 4 to 5 cells, or like maximum when we are having 10 cells, right? But when we are having hundreds of cells, it is not possible to write this type of equation for each and every cell, which will consume a lot of time. So to do that, what we are trying to do is the references which are not supposed to change are going to have the absolute reference by using the dollar mark, right? So the dollar mark is there in your keyboard with the number 4 key, right? So you are going to use the dollar mark with the particular component which is not going to change, right? Now, this is important. Now, if you are asked with the specific or like the very particular equation, you have to use the dollar mark in the very particular place. Why I'm saying this, there are ways that you can write a universal answer for this thing, right? You can ඔක්කොටම ගැලපෙන එකක් ලියන්න පුළුවන්කම තියෙනවා. ඔයගලෙන් හැවොත් හරියටම ඩොලර් මාක් එක වැටෙන්න ඕන තැනට විතරක් ඩොලර් මාක් එක දාලා ලියන්න කියලා. You should know the logic, right? Okay, now I'm going to show you the logic. Now in your formulas, what you can see is your A2, A3, A4, A5. Those are the relative references which should be changed according to the equation, right? But there will be a place there, the place which is with the B2 is not going to change according to the cell references. Like again, මම copy කරලා, if I paste it to the next cell, it's going to be A3 into B3. But that is not what we need. We should have A3 into B2 inside that. So A2 should be changed accordingly, but not the B2. So to do that, what we are going to do is the මේ තියෙන විදිහට ගත්තොත් අපිට fill handle එක පාවිච්චි කරලා copy කරන්න බෑ. Copy කරපු ගමන් අපේ equation එක සම්පූර්ණයෙන් වෙනස් වෙනවා. See, so it is pasted in the relative format. But අපිට එක්කෙනෙක් relative වෙන්න ඕනේ, තව එක්කෙනෙක් relative කරන්න බෑ, right? So what we are going to do is we keep the people, or like we keep the components as it is, where we don't need to change the relative manner. Relative විදියට copy වෙන්න ඕන කට්ටියට මුකුත් වෙනසක් කරන්නේ නැහැ. But when we need to keep a one without changing, use the dollar mark at the left side of the particular component which you don't need to change. What is that word? Use the dollar sign at the left side of the particular component which you do not need to change.
That means for B and 2, both dollar signs are coming, right?
No, that's the point, Minu. You don't need to put dollar signs at the left of B and 2. Why? Because we are copying the things along the column. When we are copying the things along the column, what is the component that is going to change? Yes, people, what is the component that's going to change?
The
Yes,
relatives.
So the component that is going to change is the row number or the row value. since we are copying it
So that
along
is
the
the
column.
relative cell, the row value here, according here, like it's the cell reference.
Yeah, so like since we are copying along the row, copying along the column, so it's only the number that is going to change. So what we are going to do is we are going to put a dollar sign at the left of the number. That is sufficient because B is not going to change anyway. According to this example, we are copying it over the column, right? So then what we can do is, once we had the dollar mark at the left of the number, which is the row header, then we can copy it. So it will copy in the very same way that we need.
So
So
but
now, yes, Minul,
what happens if we put a dollar sign in the left of B?
nothing will happen, but it is not needed. If
But
your
like
exam paper asks,
yeah, in the exam paper I wrote like that, but I got marks.
yeah, generally they will give, right? But if the questions thoroughly ask, write the very particular formula, then you are not going to have the marks for that answer. හරියටම ලියන්න කියලා කිව්වොත් ඒ කියන්නේ අවශ්‍ය තැනට විතරක් ඩොලර් සයින් එක පාවිච්චි කරලා ලියන්න කිව්වොත් you are not going to have that mark.
And so there's like they also give like to test the logic, like only one thing, not everything. Like unit price only like 60 and quantity only 10. Then
Yeah.
they asked to write the absolute cell reference.
Yeah.
So then a dollar sign will come for A, between A and 2 also, right?
But didn't get you, Minal. So
In a paper,
yeah.
So they only give one value, like
Okay.
one transaction, something like only the one unit price and one quantity. Let's say
Right, okay.
they don't give 45 or then like they are only 60 and 10.
Only 60
okay?
and 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they ask to write the absolute cell reference for those. Then we should
Those
write
means
like,
from C2
the total,
to C5.
yeah, the total. No, like the total. Like 16 to 10.
Yeah. So total should have asked is wrong, Ovin. Yes.
Sir?
Yes, Minul, are you getting me? I think I had some communication issues.
You couldn't hear you, yeah.
Yeah, so like now tell me, Minul, do you only need to take the answer to the C2 or are you going to take the answers from C2 to C5?
No, only to C2.
Okay,
So,
only to C2, okay.
Yeah, only that then should they are asking for the absolute cell reference. In that case, should we write the dollar sign in between A and 2 also?
No, it's like this. Generally, like they won't ask the things blindly to write the absolute cell reference. Now, if they ask actually, we don't now, since we are not seeing any pattern, we don't know what to be written. So then for safe side, you can have dollar signs for each and every place. That means $A, $2, star, $B, $2. We don't know what to be taken as absolute one. No? So either the unit price can be absolute or the quantity can be absolute, right? Or maybe the both, right? So if they are given some scenario, they can we know, okay, quantity is going to be absolute, unit price is going to change relatively. But not only unit price and quantity absolute, we don't know what to be taken as absolute. Then on there, they have to say.
It's only like some just write the formula only, or like some only one part, not the whole thing.
Yeah, so like if they are specifically saying you to absolute the unit price, then you can have the idea, okay, A2 is going to be with the dollars, right? If they ask you to absolute the quantity, then you are going to have the idea, okay, B2 is going to be with the dollars. But if they are not saying any criteria, you really don't know what to be filled with the dollars, so you have to fill the dollars for entire equation, right? if they're just asking to take the total, you can just say take the total without the absolute cell references. Did you get that, Minul? Okay. Yes, people, can you hear me? All right. I think Minul has some communication issues this time. Ovin, what you have asked, your equation A2 star dollar B $2 is wrong, Kuta, because you can't have dollar sign at the right side of a component. So you should use a dollar sign at the left side of each component, like either at the left side of the column header or at the left side of the row header. Right, so what you have asked lately, I can understand. Then you don't want dollars. What do you mean? Ovin, can you hear me?
So, but if someone like when you do like this also, you like the dollar sign should come for the left of the number, no, or letter, no.
Yeah.
Then if a examiner marks and things like he might have put the dollar for B and it's in the right side, so it's wrong.
It's wrong. Definitely, it's wrong.
Yeah. No, but like no, if it's in the right side of B, it can be in the left side of 2 also.
Yeah. No.
So if
now, yeah, you have to be very careful, because if the dollar sign is at the right side of the B, that means that dollar belongs to the 2, not to the B.
no, I know that. Like I mean, if an examiner thinks that he might have put that to the right, like B, he should put it to the left, and might have put it to right. Then it's
So
wrong.
like examiner will think, okay, the mistake has happened by the student, so he is giving the marks. No way.
No, she will take off the marks. I mean,
Yeah.
but the answer is correct.
Which answer? You mean like dollar B $2?
No. Like the cell reference in an instance when like both the cell reference, like both the B and 2 are both absolute. Yeah, in that case, now he might have only put it 2 or 2. Like then in that case, the examiner might think that instead of putting to the left side of B, he might have put it to the right side of B.
Minul, now I'm getting that mixed up. Now you think you are saying
No,
in
I'll
your
tell you.
answer.
It's okay.
Okay, people, I'm sorry, I was disconnected, and right. So I'm going to end the session by this point. So we have talked until the absolute cell reference, which I'm going to brief next week as well, and try to wind up the Excel lesson. by next week. So
Yes, sir.
okay, so we are going to meet and let's end the Excel session on next week then, right? Thank you very much for staying. So and sorry for the late for today because I was traveling from one place to the home. So meanwhile I couldn't be able to start it on time. So next week it will be there on 3:30, right? We will be starting on the very same time, right? So thank you very much. We'll meet you on the very next Sunday, right? We'll do the session as very usually for the usual time. Thank you very much, people. So have a nice weekend. So I'm going to wind up the session from this point. Thank you very much,
Thank
people.
you, sir.
Okay, thank you.